In this video, we are going to study the unit hydrograph. What is exactly the difference between a hydrograph and unit hydrograph? So let's discuss. Basically, a unit hydrograph is a hydrograph representing 1 centimeter of a runoff from a rainfall of some unit duration and specific areal distribution. Means what? The unit duration refers to the duration of a runoff producing the rainfall excess that results in a unit hydrograph. So let's take an example. If we have a unit hydrograph which is results from a 3 hours unit rainfall duration, so we can consider and we can name it as a 3-hour unit hydrograph. Means unit hydrograph which results from a 3-hour unit rainfall duration, it is known as a 3-hour unit hydrograph. Meaning thereby a hydrograph produced by surface runoff from a storm lasting for 3 hours and yielding rainfall excess of 1 centimeter. The unit duration may vary from 1 day for large catchment to a few hours for a small catchment. So after doing lots of research and experiments, so the Sherman, the one of the scientists, L.K. Sherman, in 1932 had given their a final research and final experiment, and he had suggested some values of a unit time duration for the particular area of a basin. So, basically, the area which is greater than 2,500 kilometers square. So, the unit time duration will be varies from 12 to 24 hours. When the area is in between the 250 to 2,500 kilometers square, the unit time duration will be 6, 8 or 12 hours. And the area which is varies from 50 to 250 kilometers square, then the unit time duration will be the 2 hours. Means sometimes they see for finding out the direct runoff, computation of a direct runoff from the flood hydrograph, we need to know the catchment area, the catchment, how much catchment area is given. So depending upon this catchment area, we can easily find out the direct runoff ordinates. So for this, we have one equation, that is 0.36 summation of ordinates multiplied by the duration time divided by the catchment area. So by using that equation, we can easily find out the direct runoff ordinate. So by analyzing all these direct runoff ordinates, or with the help of these ordinates, we can easily find out the unit hydrograph ordinates. So we are going to study that unit hydrograph, how to derive the unit hydrograph from the flood hydrograph, as well as from the flood hydrograph, how we can derive the unit hydrograph ordinates. So based on this, he had suggested the value of a unit time duration. And again, this concept of a unit hydrograph and the basis of this hydrograph concept, he had given first time in 1932. He said that if two identical rainstorms could occur over a drainage basin with identical conditions prior to the rain, the hydrographs of runoff from the two storms would be expected to be same. See, if you are seeing and if you are studying the hydrograph analysis, you can get a quick idea that in the hydrograph we had already mentioned that these hydrographs sometimes it may be a complex and interrelated, because the basin which is having the same characteristic, which is having the same precipitation but does not produce a same hydrographs. or sometimes the area which is having a different area but it is having a similar precipitation. That time also the hydrographs which is generated, it is not same. But here the Sherman, he had gave us the unit hydrograph theory, suggested that if two identical means the intensity is same, duration is same, all the characteristic with respect to the rain is same, then these storms, if two identical rainstorms occur over a basin having a same or identical condition, then the hydrographs of runoff which is generated from this storm would be expected same. Okay, so this is the basic premise, implies that the rainfall excess of n centimeters within the selected unit duration will give a run-off hydrograph having a ordinates n times as great as those of unit hydrograph of a same unit duration. So by using this unit hydrograph theory, it becomes very easy to find out the runoff. See, only here we have to consider, and here for representing the hydrograph, for plotting this hydrograph, we are here representing the 1 centimeter of a runoff from the rainfall of a same some unit duration and the specific areal distribution. So this is the one of the study or research study which had been given by the L.K. Sherman. So this unit hydrograph, you can see here how this unit hydrograph will be generated and how this construction of unit hydrograph will be done. See, here you can see there is a flood hydrograph. As we had studied or as we had looked into a hydrograph analysis, you had already seen the one of the diagram of a hydrograph. In this hydrograph diagram also, only that component hydrograph diagram, you can see the rising limb, peak, and the recession limb. All these three components, three together, gives us a hydrograph, which is known as a flood hydrograph, which is known as a storm hydrograph. So here also the flood hydrograph having a single peak is given. So you can see uh, this is of a some unit duration or having a which is, we have to find out the, or we have to derive the unit hydrograph from the given flood hydrograph. So how we can find out this? So let's discuss about this. See, from the past records, select some unit periods of an intense rainfall duration corresponding to an isolated storm uniformly distributed over this area. Basically, we know that hydrograph can be plotted against the discharge versus time. The unit hydrograph, it is also plotted against a discharge versus time, but in the unit hydrograph, there is a difference that we are going to represent that 1 centimeter of a runoff which is generated from the rainfall excess, okay, having a some unit duration and the specific areal distribution. So and the hydrograph means the it occurs because of the variations of storms which occurs in the catchment area. Then from the past records of a river discharge for that storm, plot the storm hydrographs. See, we have a precipitation records with us. For example, if we want to find out the in the current month of the hydrograph, or we have to generate the current month of depending upon the July and June month of a precipitation. Based on the June month of a precipitation record, we have to derive the, or we have to plot this hydrograph. So for this we need the June month of a precipitation, each and every day precipitation value. Then we had already we had collected that value. Then according to these records of the precipitation, here we are going to plot this storm hydrograph or the flood hydrograph based on the given value. Then By the method, see, we have a three method. uh, we are already know that in the flood hydrograph, the surface runoff, subsurface runoff, as well as the base flow, these three contribution of runoff gives us the surface natural water flow which occurs on the surface area. So when we are going to subtract this base flow from the flood hydrograph directly, and ultimately we can get the unit hydrograph. Okay, so here also we are going to subtract and we are going to delete this base flow. How we can delete this? See, we have a three methods. We have a separation method with us, but practically it is not possible to apply these methods. This is a theoretical method. So intersection method, then we have what do you say, the two line method, curve extension method, straight line method. So we have these three methods with us. But if we want to find out this in a practical method, so easily, see, from this A point and from this D point, extend that line, and here draw a central line which is passing through the peak of the hydrograph, and it should be meet on the x-axis. And when the line extends from these two points, A and D points, when it meets to a certain point, this two line, when it meets at a single point, then this line will indicates that this is a base flow value. Sometimes it is directly shown by the dotted line, and it given in a straight line manner. Okay, so first of all, we have to deduct and separate this groundwater flow from the direct runoff value. Then subtracting these ordinates of base flow from the total ordinates of a flood hydrograph, we can find out the direct runoff ordinates. So for mm, in the previous section also, I had told you that for finding out the direct runoff value, see, here we have the basic flood hydrograph ordinates with us. The summation of these ordinates gives us the summation of the ordinates. And the time interval, that is already given in the numerical. So by using the equation, that is small n is equal to 0.36 multiplied by the time duration divided by the catchment area, is nothing but a direct runoff ordinates. So this is how we are going to construct the unit hydrograph from the given flood hydrograph. Just remember that when we want to find out and when we want to derive the unit hydrograph from the flood hydrograph, we have to subtract, we have to delete the base flow value from the flood hydrograph ordinates. And when we want to find out the flood hydrograph from the unit hydrograph, we have to add this base flow value to derive the flood hydrograph value. I hope you got the idea how to construct this unit hydrograph. Then certain assumptions are there. The L.K. Sherman had mm, gave this research. This research certainly based on assumptions. So what exactly that assumptions are? Just take a look. The effective rainfall is uniformly distributed within its duration of specified period of a time. The effective rainfall is uniformly distributed throughout the whole area of the drainage basin. The base or time duration of the hydrograph of direct runoff due to an effective rainfall of unit duration is constant. The ordinates of direct runoff of common base time are directly proportional to the total amount of direct runoff represented by each hydrograph. For a given drainage basin, the hydrograph of runoff due to given period of a rainfall reflects all the combined physical characteristics of the basin. So these are the certain these are the 3 to 4 assumptions of unit hydrograph theory. So I hope you understand what is exactly a unit hydrograph and how we will just differentiate between the hydrograph and unit hydrograph. Thanks for watching this video.